Hello and welcome to this three-part Finextra at Sibos series. I'm Hannah Wallace, and in this episode we'll be asking our top bank speakers, the fintech gurus and the academics, where artificial intelligence is impacting most. We'll be looking at some of the challenges and concerns that still surround AI and how the industry will utilize AI to maximum effect in the next 2 years. Let's see what they have to say. Where do you see AI impacting most in the industry today?
The impact will be, I think, the biggest in the risk management, and I think would be AML, compliance, all the different areas, but also enhancing the risk modeling.
So where we see artificial intelligence having the greatest impact in the risk and compliance industry is really around the volumes of data that we can return to our customers and the speed with which that information can be returned to our customers.
So I would say most impactful will be the cash forecasting space, where there are solutions out in the marketplace today. Think about how to engage that information as well directly from your banking partners, relevant to feeding it into your source systems, whether that's a treasury management application, your ERP application, or driving it forward.
The areas I see AI impacting most in banking is those that are the most manual. So trade finance is one of those areas where we spend too much resources on the basic stuff, like comparing documents, versus giving customers advisory on how to sell more.
What AI will do is it will increase the productivity of people, and especially in markets where there is paucity of talent. And that is how AI will turbocharge economic growth, and certainly in Africa.
So robotic advisory, better customer service, and of course in the back office things like fraud detection based on different patterns, machine learning, and then of course sanction screening and monitoring in general.
In retail, I think it has been there for a long time, where you look at advising your clients through AI basically. It's been part of our lives broadly, but in wholesale it's relatively new. And what you see is that more and more for instance in financial markets where we have lots of data sets, we can actually help our traders or help our people to price it better or to get better deals for their clients. So it's really taking a big leap at the moment.
We have very specialized intelligence in the AI field right now, and being able to build that into a general intelligence framework requires us to sort of build some meta layer once we've got all of those individual competencies on the AI space. And that's going to take us probably another 20 years.
I think one of the biggest areas that AI has an impact on is in the area of anti-financial crime, anti-fraud, AML, that type of space. I think there's some real challenges even now in organizations understanding how to get the best use out of AI.
What challenges and concerns do you still see surrounding artificial intelligence?
Challenges first is adoption. I think the technology is mature again. On our side, it's going in production as we speak. I think adoption on the ground is still not there yet, and we need to educate a lot more than what we've done in the past.
The challenges I see that are the biggest are that we as business leaders don't fully understand AI yet. The limitations nor the opportunities. We are talking about it, we are on a journey to understand it, and it will impact us the most when we see the use case out of it.
I think acceptance, and I think we should not see artificial intelligence as a problem, but I think as a natural next step to improving services, right?
We've realized that it's less about the technology and more about the data. The one with the data wins at the end of the day. And we also need to ensure that we approach the use of AI with a mindset that enables our utilization, our effective utilization of the technology.
One challenge that really hits the corporate practitioner as they look to tackle more artificial intelligence solutions relates to data. How do they create a good repository of information and moving data from unstructured to structured? Once it's structured data, information can be indexed, it can be capitalized on, and then you can harness it for better business outcomes.
How do you ensure to get the commercial value? Because you can spend a lot of time, a lot of money investing in this and seeing very little return to be able to use it in a real world scenario.
Regulations are going to be a new element for all the banks to consider when they implement artificial intelligence. because there might be some additional rules around the governance of the artificial intelligence, around what exactly can you do or you can't do?
Well, the first big challenge is that you have to get the data in a platform where you actually have compute power and speed. So that's a very technical thing which you really have to get right before you can do a couple of things. And the other one, obviously, is potential biases you can have in your models. So it's really super important that you train a model on the right data set and that you have all the controls around it to make sure it's fair and it's explainable and you can really use it like that.
I think the challenges and concerns is around ensuring you know how to manage the data, to set it up in the correct way, and to eliminate bias. Those three things are one of the biggest challenges in having an effective AI platform.
So the real question is, when we're building these algorithms, when we're propagating this machine learning technology, how do we eliminate those biases? How do we build in ethical behavior into this so that in the future we don't create the same problems they've created with the human ecosystem?
So it's about iteration. It's about finding a business challenge that AI can help address rather than focusing on technology for technology's sake. And it's avoiding the anthropomorphic principle of thinking the AI is a human being. It is not. It is intelligence without cognition.
We should avoid blindly trusting the outcome of AI. So the only challenge would be, how do we augment human intelligence with artificial intelligence rather than substitute human intelligence with artificial intelligence? As long as we find mechanisms to address that, I think we are on the right path.
How do you think the industry will utilize artificial intelligence in the next 2 years to maximum effect?
I think with the global adoption of the cloud technology, there will be a massive multiplication effect of this technology.
I think the industry will utilize AI the most in areas where human and machine can collaborate in the best way. So it's about handling all those processes that are today very cumbersome and that the customers don't really benefit from.
So I see AI automating some of the most repetitive, lower value tasks of data gathering, but very much a role for humans in the curation of the sources, ensuring that the information is of the highest quality and continuing to refine those algorithms over the course of the next 2 to 3 years.
Anomaly detection around reconciliation processes and payments classification processes.
Anytime you've got a human in a financial institution right now that is ticking the boxes, following a hard-coded process, we can teach a machine to do that, and they will do it better and more consistently than a human.
I think the biggest area is in anti-financial crime. One of the toughest challenges we have as an industry is the volume of data being generated. That's really, really difficult for humans just to compute, let alone understand what's noise, what are signals, what do I really need to pay attention for.
I think for the industry, the biggest gain to get from AI in the coming years is really on anti-money laundering and KYC. I think there's the biggest opportunity for all of us, where it will really leap forward if we can actually start using each other's data as an industry rather than just our own specific set of data.
I do think artificial intelligence will be a topic that we will be debating next year as well in Boston at Sibos. It will play out, but technology is changing rapidly. The solutions are there. It's about changing the business process. So I would expect 12 months from now to hear more stories about how corporate practitioners have changed their workflow. They've gone from spending time creating reports to spending more time on strategic analysis and contributing to those factors that are helping driving the best business outcome.
The banking industry will use artificial intelligence in part because of its migration from, I feel like, working on a day-by-day basis to a 24-hour basis. So if the banking industry moves from batch processing to 24/7 processing, you can't have people there all the time. So AI is going to be necessary to keep the lights on while the people are asleep.
It's clear AI is having a huge impact on the industry. Of course, there are still some challenges that need to be addressed, but there's no doubt banks are making the most of the opportunities it presents. Next year, we'll be in Boston for Sibos to see how things have moved on. So we'll see you then.